Today we're going to talk about fellowships, how awesome they are, and of course this is all in the world of Elvenar. We got a few things to go over, and we're going to try and do it in 15 minutes. Last episode went quite long, that was my bad. So we're just going to jump into the thick of it here. We are recording. We've got live questions, and we are live streaming on Twitch too. So we're going to see where this goes. Any question that comes up into the chat, I'll just answer it as best I can. And then, but for the most part, we're going to be talking about fellowships and what they are for and what you should do in them, because it's important, super important. You even have a little list here you can't even see. It's awesome. And I also found out I can just start and stop the recording like while I'm streaming, so it doesn't have to be choppy either. It's just going to be like flowy, 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 flowy. So let's get into it. This is my Elvenar City. Today we're going to be talking about fellowships. My fellowship, my overview here, is Summer Fun. Currently we were recruiting actually, so let me just fix that. I can do this because I am the Archmage of my fellowship, so I get to edit anything I want to edit. You also see here as the Archmage, which is my title, I can change anybody to anything. Now if I change someone to the Archmage, they would become the Archmage, and I would go back down to Mage or Ambassador. I think they would have to set me from that point. I may just jump straight down to a Fellow. I've never done it, don't want to try it, don't trust anyone. Don't trust anyone. But yes, this is the basic view. Now first thing you're going to see when you get to Elvenar is the actual, boom, description of the different fellowships. Now this one was given to me by someone named Summer Girl. She's an awesome player, tons of fun to be around, but she got tired and moved to a different fellowship, I believe, and she didn't feel like dealing with this one anymore for one reason or another. I actually didn't ask any questions. That is literally all the information I know. So I took over the fellowship, and I made all of this. In this fellowship, if you read the description, it basically says, be respectful of others, be awesome, and we're going to crush tournaments, we're very friendly, and we're good for new players. Now, everyone knows this, but specifically, Lord Noob, and he has taken supreme advantage of asking us questions, and it is delightful to have him in the fellowship. He asks the kind of questions you would love for him to ask. It is tons of fun having him around. I love having him in the fellowship. Now, this is just reading the fellowship itself. Well, Apricot, what's these things underneath your fellowship name? I'm going to tell you. The first one is the number of members. In fellowships, there can only be 25 members in total at any given time. Now, you can have less than that. We had 23 members for about a week, and that's completely okay. But there's a few out there that have like 12 members. Underneath that is our rank as a fellowship. This is not your rank as a player. It is just the rank of the fellowship. So out of the 150 or whatever fellowships that are on this particular server, we are ranked 39, which is amazing, actually, because the people who are active and have great fellowships, we're getting up there. We used to be 50, 51. Now we're 39. Oh, yeah. Well, how do you get ranked, you might ask? Well, I'll let you know. That has to do with the score here. This score is the accumulation of all of the members' scores, okay? So I have 7147, and the next one is Pixie Bright with 6743. Those two added together equals our score as a fellowship, if she and I were the only two in the fellowship. But there's 25 of us, so we add all of these numbers in, all of these numbers in, all of them. And that equals 85,049, okay? Now, what you can do to look at the list of fellowships is you go to the world map. I didn't even have to go to the world map, actually. We can just do this from home. Sorry, it's been a long time since I've done this. You click your number here, and that tells you where your ranking points are coming from, just hovering over it, okay? So I have a working population of 2626, required culture, which is required culture. Not the amount of culture I have, it's my required culture. And I'll explain that here in a minute. And then we have world map progress, which is the amount of provinces I've gotten. I'll show you that as well as tournaments, which we've only got a 15 score in. I've been in 5, maybe it's 3 per box. Maybe? I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know how the tournament score works. That's pretty interesting. Anywho, if we click it, this comes up. And this shows that I'm 299 out of the entire server. So my score of 7147 is in between 7155 and 7145. Now I can actually jump up real quick and upgrade something, because as soon as you upgrade it, as soon as you click it to construct, boom, your score goes up. Now my score has actually been going down because I've been selling stuff, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So that's my individual ranking. Now what happens if I click Summer Fun, View Fellowship? That's not what I wanted to do. Hold on. Rankings, Fellowships, there we go. And then if you go to Fellowships, we're 39 with a score of 85,061. Now as you can see, the two above us have higher scores, but less people in their fellowships. Isn't that weird? That's just awkward, isn't it? Whew. But it's fine, because you're just trying to do what you want to do for your fellowship, okay? Now that's a basic understanding of fellowships. Now, the tournaments are fellowship-oriented only, meaning you have to be in a fellowship in order to participate in the tournaments, because they are a fellowship thing. And I'm going to explain that very soon. So, back to my score. Required culture is 3323. And you can see it here. My total culture is 3630. My required is 3323, leaving me an available 307. Now that's super important information for when you're upgrading stuff, but we'll go into that at a different time. The world, what it was saying, my outside excursions, is how much of the world I have discovered. And as you can see, it's a good amount. It's not fantastic, but it's decent. It's decent. And I'm just showing you the bulk of it. We're not like focusing on anything out here because we're talking about fellowships here, okay? So I'm back in my own town, and this is where the benefits of being in a fellowship really come in. The first thing being in a fellowship allows you to do is this beautiful thing right here called a trader. Now, in this trader, I can filter for my fellowship and see what my fellowship only is looking for in regards to trades. And all of these trades I can do with zero penalties, right? But if I wasn't in a fellowship, okay, like I'm not in a fellowship with Creek here, I'm not in a fellowship with Mars Bands, Brad here, but I can take their trades. Now if you hover over this right here, it says player needs 100, trader fee is 50. I now have to pay a fee just to trade with this guy. But being in a fellowship, anyone in that fellowship, I don't have to pay that fee for. That seems like a pretty good bonus to me. Now, the last thing that you get for being in a fellowship is this right here. And this is the chat program. Now, these chats are only for fellowships. That's it. If you're not in a fellowship, you don't even have this little bubble on the right-hand part of the screen. Forget to restart recording when you happen to stop. Right. So I can see everything anyone in my fellowship is saying, and I can talk back to them. Okay? So this right here is a perfect example. So everyone's saying that they need silk. And Jolene comes back, well, I'm not sure if anyone's on tier 3 yet. I know my boosters will be gems, though. And they keep talking, keep talking. He says, what do you need? You're the best. That's because she's happy to help him with his needs in the fellowship, because in a fellowship you're here to help other players. If you wanted to play by yourself, you wouldn't be trading equally with other players, and you sure as heck wouldn't be going onto the trader for additional things that you need. The trader's a big part of what being in a fellowship is all about, helping other players get to a local goal. Okay, what is that goal? What would a fellowship want to move forward to? I'm going to tell you. In a fellowship, they have tournaments. Why do they have tournaments? Because it's something that you can help everybody in your... Don't make me, Shorty, I'm going to come in there. Tournaments are what they put together for fellowships to show their strength, what they can do. And what's the point in doing tournaments? It's a waste of resources, right? That's where you're wrong, pal. This last tournament we participated in, we got 3 boxes, 5 knowledge books, and 5 plank relics. Well, Apricot, what are you going to do with plank relics? You're a steel main. You're right. But with these 58 plank relics, I can create myself some spells, because this costs 1 plank relic and 1 crystal relic. And that's why, if I click my little baggie down here, I have 29 power of provision spells. Yeah, because those relics come in handy, whether it's your main or not. But that's just my personal goal. That's my personal gain. What else would I get from this tournament? I'm going to show you. We have what's called plank producers. I happen to be a steel producer. And when we did the steel tournament, what we got in the end of the steel tournament was pretty much the exact same we got here, except for they were steel relics. So now, if I go to my house, I produce 303% steel when I produce steel. So because we participated in the tournament, I have 3,109 steel. Because it allows me to produce more, because my entire fellowship came together and said, let's make this work. I believe we even got to the 4th box on that tournament, because it was fantastic. Everybody came together, everyone did what they could do and what they had to do, their resources were pooled, we did some crazy stuff, we beat some dudes in the face, and boom! I produced 303% on my steel production. Now, look at this. This is so weird. I've only got these steel manufacturers right here. How the heck did I get so many planks and marble? How awkward. Of note, the boxes have additional goodies. Yeah, there was more stuff in those boxes, by the way. There were spells and shards that you could use, and I'll show what the shards are in a little bit. But how did I get so much marble and planks? That's so weird. Is it, though? Is it? See, I'm in a fellowship, which means all of my fellowship buddies and people in my fellowship are offering marble, steel, and planks, and crystals, and silk. Now see, that is phenomenal. So I can come in here with my goods, mind you, I'm also an elixir boosted person, and get all of these goods off of them, which allowed me to get 3,000, 3,000, and 8,000 of these manufactured goods without ever building one of the buildings. But Apricot, why wouldn't you just build yourself a marble producing manufactory? I'm going to show you. Because I'm in a fellowship, I can trade 100 steel for 100 planks. And I just put these up. Just put them up just like this. 4, 5. Now, they're just sitting there for anybody to take. Anyone who produces planks is a main. And you're like, what does that have anything to do, Apricot? I don't understand. Let me show you. I can build right now, and we're just going to build one, a planks manufactory. It takes 40 seconds to build. I don't have a builder. No! 24 minutes, minute and 5 seconds. In a minute and 5 seconds, I'm going to build a plank manufactory and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So, I just got 500 steel. That's a 3-hour production for 500 steel off of 4 steel manufactories. That's crazy. That is flippin' crazy. Now, if I click on this and click upgrade, okay, you'll see that it takes 84 population and 30 to go up to the next ranking. Now, what's important here is if I hover over production, regular production is only 97 per day for a rank 8 steel production, steel manufacturing. 97 per day. Okay? So without that awesome boost I got from the tournament we went through, I would be nowhere close. Get your own steel, shorty. Actually, I just put the trades up. Go ahead and just take the trades. I would only be able to produce 100, about 8 to 10 an hour. Or 8 to 10 per 3-hour go. So every 3 hours I would get 8 or 10. Not 8 or 1000. No, just 8 or 10. So what we're going to do here is that's 97. And again, that's at rank 8. At 8, I get 97. With my boosts, I get 125 every 3 hours, as opposed to 8 every 3 hours. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that I am that I'm in a fellowship and I need planks, okay? And I'm like, I'm not gonna go to the trader. No. I'm gonna make my own planks, right? So I'm gonna hit this and I'm gonna go to goods again, and we're gonna put a planks manufactory right there. Right there. Okay? Now this is a level 1. Is it killing you, shorty? Is it killing you? I'm just gonna leave them there. Let them sit. Stir. Oh yeah. So I'm just going to make a plank manufactory here. 25 more seconds. In that time, I'm gonna make shorty happy. because she's yelling at me, guys. And we're going to go ahead and harvest my scrolls too. Look at that. 300. Level 5. Level 5. These are just level 5, right? 300. 100 each, which is going to be 400 once I had to upgrade that one to a level 5 in between the 3 hours. So I didn't go ahead and produce on that one. Alright, so it's done. So I can make 3 planks for 3 hours at 60 gold and 6 supplies. Now here's the kicker. I can upgrade this at 5 minutes and 24 seconds to 2, which brings it to 13 per day. And keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And I believe I can get it up to level 8 as well. That I could, okay? But I don't know if anyone noticed. When I built that, it took 22 population to build, okay? Now, it also gave me 22 ranking points, right? I can't mouse to it, but that's what it gave me. And if I upgrade this, I would get no more ranking points. Oh, yeah. It would go from 22 to 26. I would get 4 more ranking points, okay? And that's different for all the different manufacturing products. However, what am I gaining off of this? Even if I were to upgrade this up to level 8, it would give me, at best, 97 regular production. Okay? And I could go on Google or the wiki page and tell you exactly how much at level 8 that would give me. But even if I got 100, right? That wouldn't come close to what I get off of the trader, because I just produced 500 steel in 3 hours. With that 500, I could get 100 planks, 100 marble, I believe it's 25 of any tier 2 item. Like, all of that stuff I can get off of that 1 3-hour harvest right there. So the question here is what does it matter that I'm in a fellowship? A fellowship means I don't have to build this terrible, terrible production. I just don't have to, because it makes no sense to. Because I have other people that I am currently linked to that are plank producers who get 500 off of 4 buildings in their own place. And they can use that to trade me for the steel I'm creating. Which means both of us spent an hour, and both of us got 100 of each of the manufactured products of the tier 1 and tier 2. That's what that would mean. As opposed to wasting a boat ton of resources, population, builders, space in your place, and culture to put all these useless buildings, because they won't do anything. And the point of that is because you're in a fellowship. You gotta be able to work together. Now, what if the people who are planks aren't producing in your fellowship? Well, maybe you should ask them. That's what we have this chat program for. You can always go into the chat, and you can always ask for resources from the people in your fellowship. And in my fellowship, we're all very friendly. And if you need resources, we give you those resources. Now, we don't give them to you. We do a fair trade. That way we make sure that there's stuff for everybody. And this is what allows us to build up enough in order to be able to say, the next tournament that's going to start is going to be a crystal tournament. And I believe I've got the resources, 8,100 marble, to make that happen. So I'm going to be able to go into the tournament and just wreck it, because I trusted my fellowship, and I only have the goods that I produce with a boost. Yeah, I already did that, Jolene. Yeah. Already did that. Ridiculous. Always talking some noise. So that's basically what we're looking at. So the whole purpose of being in a fellowship, to recap, is to have players that can help and you can help, to make sure that even though it's not a boosted manufacturer, you don't have to waste resources to build your own, because you have other people you can trust to fill that gap in your resources. And number 3, to do tournaments, to be able to get additional resources for you and your fellowship. That's the whole reason of being a fellowship. If you don't want to do those things, or you want to build your own planks and marble and steel product manufactories, then you should just be playing by yourself, because that's not helping anyone, not even yourself. It's not even helping you at that point, because it can't produce enough for you to be able to do anything with. And here's a prime example. In the knowledge book, you have to advance through everything. Now, let's use a generalized example and say that it's 100 per day. Now that's an entire 24-hour period, you checking every 3 hours, okay? And you want to do Advanced Crystal. Okay, so it would take me 7.2 days and 7.5 days respectively just to be able to finish that off, doing it by myself, with no trading or nothing, if those two were my mains. Because if they're not your mains, you can go to the trader and the wholesaler and blah, 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 blah. See, and that's 14 days technically of game time that you get to save because you're in a fellowship. And if you're not going to use a fellowship for what it's supposed to be used for, then why be in a fellowship? Just go play by yourself. You know, you got to be able to trust everyone around you that's in the fellowship to produce the items that you need and take the trades when you need them. You know, that's the whole point of a fellowship. If that's not what you're in there for, then there's no point in being in one. So that's the wrap up. That's the long and the short of fellowships. And as always, remember the tournaments are awesome. So it makes you keep going forward. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to move to the next video now. Go ahead and, if you have any questions or concerns, my name is Apricot266, inside of Elvenar on the Krillin server. And we are Archmage, or we are Archmage, good lord. We are Summer Fun. For sure, these. Alright guys, have a good one.